Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Greetings everyone, my name is Mutiara Ananda and I am currently a third-year student in Mathematical Education major in UIN Syarif Hidayatullah, Jakarta. This video is an assignment for my English for Mathematics course with Mrs.Khamida Nur Atiqoh as my lecturer. In this video, we are going to focus on rectangles. We are going to talk about their properties, the area, the perimeter, and how to solve a problem related to them. But first, what is a rectangle? So a rectangle is a quadrilateral, and a quadrilateral is a four-sided polygon. Rectangles are also a special type of quadrilateral known as parallelograms. So let's say if we have this rectangle ABCD, like a parallelogram, opposite sides are parallel. So BC is parallel to AD. In addition to that, we could say that AB is parallel to DC. Now, what else do we know about rectangles? Just like a parallelogram, opposite sides are congruent. So BC and AD, they are congruent. So that means that AB and DC are also congruent. Now, all angles are right angles. They are all equal to 90 degrees. So angle A, angle B, angle C, angle D, they equal 90. Now, the next thing you need to know are the diagonals. The diagonals are congruent to each other. So diagonal AC is congruent to diagonal BD. Now, also the diagonals bisect each other. So what that means is that AE is congruent to EC and BE is congruent to ED, which makes E the midpoint of AC and E is also the midpoint of BD. So those are some basic properties of rectangles. And now we have learned what a rectangle is. Here my friend Mark has a problem that we are going to solve together. So Mark has a backyard, and after further observing, the backyard is actually rectangular shaped. Mark has been told that the backyard has a perimeter of 40 meters and a width of 2/3 of its length. To find out the area of the said backyard, what should Mark do? So in order to solve Mark's problem, we need to know first about the area and perimeter of rectangles. Now, some formulas that you may want to keep in mind are this. Let's say this is the length and the width of the rectangle. The area is the length times width. It's basically the two-dimensional space inside of this rectangle. The unit of area is always unit squared. So you can have square feet, square centimeters, square meters, etc. And so, that's how you can calculate the area of a rectangle. Now, what about the perimeter of the rectangle? In order to calculate the perimeter, you need to determine the total distance around the rectangle. In other words, the perimeter is the sum of all four sides, so it's 2L plus 2W. And so, the perimeter is simply the distance around a figure, whereas the area is basically the two-dimensional space inside of a figure, so keep that in mind. After we learned about the perimeter and area of rectangles, now we figured it out. In order to solve Mark's problem, we need to first find the actual width and length value using the perimeter given. After we find the width and length value, we can use it to find the area of Mark's backyard. So, let's solve Mark's problem, shall we? We have learned that perimeter is found by summing up all four sides of the rectangle. Means that to find the perimeter of a rectangle, we need to sum up twice of its width and length. So here we have P equals 2L plus 2W. We also know from what Mark has told us, the perimeter of his backyard is 40 meters. So with that being said, we know that the value of P is 40. That aside, consider that the width is 2/3 of its length. So we are gonna have W equals 2/3 times L. After defining the width, we can substitute the width to our perimeter equation. So 40 equals 2L plus 2 times 2/3 times L. 2 times 2/3 times L equals to 4 over 3 times L. Then we add up to L and 4 over 3 times L, and we are gonna have 10 over 3 times L. Then we divide both sides with the reciprocal of 10 over 3. So we are gonna have L equals to 40 times 3 over 10. 40 times 3 over 10 is 12. So we got our length value, that is 12 meters. After finding the length, we can now substitute the length value to find the width. W equals to 2/3 times L. L is 12, so 2/3 times 12 is 8. So that's gonna be our width value, that is 8 meters. Finally, we found out that the backyard has width of 8 meters and length of 12 meters. Next step is to find the area. We need to multiply the width and the length. So A equals W times L. W is 8 and L is 12. So 8 times 12 is 96. So the area is 96 meters squared. That's gonna be our final answer. So now we found out that Mark's backyard has an area of 96 meters squared. So that's the end of our discussion today about rectangles. We have solved Mark's problem. Don't forget to always exercise with many more rectangle-related problems so you can fully grasp the concept. With all has been said, wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.